Well, it's that time of year again. Time to put up the Christmas tree. This is our pre-lit Christmas tree. It comes in 3 sections that are interlocking. The lights are on there year-round, so all you're going to do is drag it down from the hiding place upstairs and assemble it. The trick is you have to make sure you assemble it correctly. So this was a pretty expensive tree, but we waited till right after Christmas when they have the big sales, and we bought it. And it's an expensive tree because it's a big pre-lit tree that has white and colored lights. Oh, pretty. But wait, what's happening here? Why aren't the upper sections working? Oh my goodness, I wonder whatever could have happened. All right, so I wasn't home and my wife wanted to get the Christmas tree up and decorated, so the kids were gonna help her put this thing up. And they managed to get the sections together, and they thought that they did it correctly, but they missed out on a very critical part, and that led to a failure. And I will show you first how it's supposed to work. So here's the top section of the tree off, and what we have is we have the metal tube, and it's got a female or hollow end here. And down inside there are, way down in there recessed, about 3 inches down, there's a plastic plug with 2 metal pins. There's a good look. All right. And there's a polarity because these are LEDs, so they work on DC voltage, and polarity is critical. So there's a red and a black for positive and negative. Up here on the top of the section that's supposed to plug into, we have the corresponding red and black female parts of the plug. And that's actually not recessed, that's kind of like right up the top here. There is a metal ridge stamped into the tubing that makes up this part of the tree. And that metal ridge is supposed to act as a guide. And so what's supposed to happen is you're not supposed to be able to get this to even slide down onto that other part unless that metal ridge right there lines up with the corresponding ridge on the other part, thereby ensuring proper alignment as you slide this down. Unfortunately, there is a little bit of play that's involved, so you have to be very careful and make sure you've got it perfectly lined up. And the tree's, the center section's pretty heavy, so when you put that onto the base, you're kind of fighting with it. So it can be a little bit tricky. And what has happened in the past is that those pins have become slightly bent, further making it even more difficult to get the alignment. Well, what happened this year when I wasn't home and they tried putting it together was, they thought they had it together, and then they fired it up and the lights didn't work. So I came home to, hey, Daddy, the lights on the tree don't work. So when I first initially took it off and looked down into this hole, what I actually saw was I saw not one, but both pins badly bent over. Just moving the pins the slightest amount snapped them clean off. The pins have an unusual little design here. They've got a hole through them right here, which makes this a very weak part. So any metal fatigue whatsoever of bending this back easily snapped the pin off. So it's not the greatest design. Luck would have it, on the outside here, right here, there is a screw that can be removed. Once you remove that screw, you can reach down inside here with needle nose pliers, and you can grab where there used to be a pin, and this slides right out. Oops. So, see how I grabbed that? Pretty easy. Slid that right out. Now it appears that maybe by design this is made so that this is replaceable. Looks like those plastic pins right here. I bet you if I push on those, I could probably get this plug to come apart. Probably do that just to investigate how this is made and look online and see if there is even such thing as a replacement plug for this. And I started searching online and I found this picture right here. Seems like this company has a better design as far as that electrical connection is supposed to go. And they use kind of like an inner and outer concentric ring setup, so there is no notch whatsoever. This part could theoretically spin 360 degrees and still make an electrical connection. Well, all kinds of Google searches and no luck finding this replacement part. While we're at it, as far as non-standard things go, just wanted to mention the screw that I had to take out to get this out has a very unusual triangular shaped indentation on the top. So it's clearly some sort of a special, like a safety non-tamper, like tamper resistant type of screw. So look at that weird little head there. So that's annoying. There's a lot of cat hair on this rug. Very unusual little shape to it, but I found this small Torx driver bit fits in there enough to unscrew that screw. So it turns out where those little holes are, you push out these two plastic pins. That allows you to slide the two connectors right out of the back, and they each have a screw on them. Well, so that's just got a regular screw on it, Phillips head screw that you loosen, and that allows the wire to become disengaged from that plug. So now, if we put the original pin next to it, it starts to look like a standard banana plug. Oh, I had to come down here to the workbench because that lighting in that room was just annoying me. It was very poor lighting in there. So what I was trying to say was that when you get this all out so you can look at it, what you end up actually seeing is that this is actually a standard, what they call a banana plug. I don't know where the name originates from. I don't know if there's a more proper electrical name, but these are basically the same exact type of plugs that were commonly used on test equipment for plugging test leads into voltmeters and things like that. So now that I've determined that this is just a pretty much standard banana plug, now I can search banana plug types in Google, look at Google images, and I could start to see some really good possibilities here. Here's a pair that look very similar. Here's another pair. But see, what I like about these is these actually have the hole in them similar to these. See how there's a hole there? If I was really lucky, my electrical supply house downtown would actually have some of these. So there's plenty of these banana connectors available online, but the problem is I wanted to get it quickly. Also, it has to be the type that has this extra hole in it. Now, what they're using the extra hole for in this application is actually, when this is down inside here, those plastic pins that I drove out are actually going through that hole, and that's what retains this inside this plug. Truth be told, if I had found some place that had this style and it didn't have the hole, I would find some sort of a workaround. I would probably settle for maybe installing these in from the back and then maybe making a little metal plate or a bar to go across the back to retain these, and then just drill and tap a hole, or use just drill a hole and use a screw that has threads on it, like a sheet metal screw, to engage that. But as luck would have it, Home Depot, of all places, to the rescue. They only have one style of banana plug that they sell. This is the commercial electric brand. This is the Home Depot part number 155922. They use them for speaker jacks, and they only sell them as a 10-pack. So unfortunately, I paid $15, like $14.95 plus tax for this. But alternatively, if I had bought these online and I just bought a couple, they would have been very cheap to buy, but then I probably would have paid about $6 to have them shipped. And again, in the interest of time, I wanted to get this done for this Christmas. They looked good matching them up in the store. So all I have to do now is put these in, run the plastic retainer pins back through, and we should be all set. I'm noticing now there's actually a plus and minus right on this. So that'll make it easy for me to differentiate which side the red goes on. And I only took one off so that I wouldn't mix the wires up and have to deal with figuring it out. All right, let's go put this back together. Oh, gotta get one black one out. There we are. Alright, so I got the connectors back on, and now I'm just going to make sure I put them in the right hole. The red one goes in the side with the plus for positive, and then insert the pins, these plastic pins. Ah, there we go. Success. Merry Christmas, everybody.